Okay, so I have a finish, and it is Christmas Rules by Lizzie Kate. And this is, it was super washed out, but here we go. Here it is, all in its entirety. It's really big, but not as big as it could have been because I did it on 40 count. And let me just scroll through here and I'll talk about it. So I did not use the called for. And there's a comment that I still need to go back and comment on from one of my videos asking for the conversion for this. And y'all, it's not really a conversion. I will go back and comment on that video, and I'll find, I'm not sure who it was who commented, so sorry about that, but I'll go back and comment on there. Unfortunately, it's really hard to give a conversion because I didn't do a direct conversion. What I did was, when I wanted to start this piece, I just found a bunch of colors that I enjoyed and I put them all together in a pile. And then while I was working on this, I just grabbed what I felt like when I felt like. So I can give you guys, and I'll put it in the drop down below, I'll tell you which threads I used in this piece, but I can't tell you, where she says to use this color, I used this one. I didn't do that at all. So the best I can do is just give you the colors I decided to use, and then if you want to do what I did and just put them all in a pile and pick as you go. I have plenty of pictures of this on Instagram, so if you are trying to get something similar, you might be able to go look at those pictures and make a good guess as to which one I put where. I'm not even sure I could tell you which ones I put where. I put a little bit of Etoile in every block just because I felt like it. So I'm sorry, but it's kind of hard to give you a conversion. I'll do my best though and just give you the colors so that you can do something similar if you want. And I did this for Sal with Caitlin from A Stitch for Mom, and I finished it just a little bit early because this is supposed to be the last month you work on it. We started in January and did a rule every month. I just decided to finish it up a little bit early when I got towards the end there, and I just love it. And I was worried about the buttons because, I did it on 40 count, so of course the stitches are smaller and the spaces are smaller, so I was worried that the buttons wouldn't really fit anymore, but I think it turned out okay. And I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I don't know how I'm going to FFO it. That's why it's just going to sit rolled up in my little drawer beside me until I figure that out. Hopefully by next Christmas season I'll figure it out so that I can put it out. Okay, then I had another finish of Oh Say Can You See by Hands On Design. I did the drum, and I actually FFO'd it this week. My stitchy bug has been pretty bad this week. I just haven't really wanted to sit down and stitch. I think part of it is I'm just not feeling very good, and I don't know, just haven't felt like stitching this week. So I decided to FFO a couple of things, and one of them was this Oh Say Can You See? So I will show it to you. I finished it into this little drum. Kathy of Hands On Design, her tutorials on her website for how to finish are fantastic. So if you're concerned about finishing, she does a really good job explaining on there. So I'm just slowly turning this around because the drums, you have to see it all here. And there you go. I stitched on this a lot on the airplanes and was able to finish it up. And this is actually tomorrow. It's going to move to Fire Poppies, which is my LNS. And it is going to be a shop model there, assuming Susan still wants it. I agreed to make this for her as a shop model like a long time ago, and I just had troubles getting it done. So I finally did. So Susan, if you see this before tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing it to you tomorrow, and I hope you still want it as a shawl model. And there's that. I think it's super cute. Then I have the next FFO that I did, also hands-on design, was my Java block party. I went ahead and FFO'd it. And I don't have the pins. I think I might get them because I think it needs the pins. Needs the pins. It's pretty cute as is, but, you know, why not? Why not get the pins? I think it's so cute. I like how this finished out. I definitely am an overstuffer in general. I like pillows and things to be really firm, so it might look a little bit more rounded than it's supposed to just because I overstuff. I also put a little bit of stuffing underneath this wool on the top. I'm going to say that it was a stylistic choice, but in reality I might have cut this little piece of wool just a little bit too big, so it was looking a little weird and wavy, so I just stuffed it. But let's say it's a design choice. And I just put on the bottom Kate B. And yeah, I love this. I just want to, I don't know, it's just so cute, and you can squish it. Okay, and my last finish and FFO was Joe's house, which I have given to him and he gave to his wife, and they're both happy with it, and I'm super excited about that. So I'll just go ahead and put a picture up here of Joe's house FFO'd in the frame and all that, so that you can see it. My favorite part is the little French knots that I did on top of their dog Wyatt's head, because he's a little curly dog, and they're so cute. I love those little knots. Okay, that's FFOs. Then, really briefly, I put 2 pieces in the Coastal Carolina Fair, and I got 3rd place ribbons on both of them. So, from what I understand, the way the Coastal Carolina Fair works is that, you have your different categories that you fall into. Both of my pieces were in separate categories. So I had adult amateur and adult amateur self-design. So I put in 2 separate categories. That's how I got 2 3rd place ribbons. I think they just there's like a 1st place, a 2nd place, and a 3rd place, and then honorable mentions in each category, but I'm not 100% on that, but there's only 1 1st place and 1 2nd place and 1 3rd place. I'm not sure if that's how everyone does it, but that's how they did it. So I'm pretty happy with those results. I didn't necessarily put them in for ribbons, but this is what the ribbons look like. They're just white. I haven't even taken them. They're all safety pinned together and stuff still. But just 2 white 3rd place ribbons. The 2 pieces that I put in were this 4 Corners by Little House Needleworks. And I've shown that before. And I've also shown this before, but my December 26th, which is my self-design piece. There. I didn't use non-reflective glass on this, so it's a little bit harder to see. But, and yeah, this is my self-design one. I think the comments were good for both. I'm not going to get upset about critique. That's what you put stuff in fairs to get judged and stuff. You're going to get critiqued. It would be silly to think that you weren't going to get comments back. And maybe some that you don't agree with. On both of them, one of the judges said that both of them would look better with a matte. I'm just not a fan of mattes. Sometimes I like it, but it kind of is a particular, I like it on a particular type of piece, and I didn't want a matte on either of those. But the judge thought that they would have looked better with the matte. So, to each of them. That's fine. And I'm just happy to have put some pieces in the fair, shown off some cross stitching. Hopefully some people walked by the cross stitching this year and there was a lot of beautiful things. Hopefully someone was inspired to pick up a needle. That's really what I would like. The purpose of putting things in the fair to me is hopefully to inspire someone else to pick a needle up and start stitching. Okay, moving on to WIPs. I'm going to try to kind of fly through these because we're almost at 40 minutes and I haven't even inserted that little clip yet. Okay. So, first one. It is my Tiny Modernist Biscornu of the month from this year. It's the fantasy creatures. So the mermaid, this was February's. This was what I had grand plans of stitching a Biscornu a month. And I'm on February and it's December. You know, what are you going to do? But I'm stitching on opalescent fabric. Where did my little... Little piece of cardboard so it doesn't show through. And I have one mermaid done. Almost. I have a little bit left of her hair and her eyes. But I think she's super pretty. I think she's cute. I'm excited to get her done and the other 3 and the back so that potentially, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get this done by the end of the year. I was thinking maybe it would be good to get at least 2 done in the year since I thought that I'd be able to get close to all 12 done in the year, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, next up, I worked quite a bit on Halloween Rules by Lizzie Kate. This is a new start, I believe, from the last time that I saw you. I am doing more of a direct conversion on this one. So I might be able to actually share a conversion with you guys. We'll see how it goes. But this is what the design will look like in the end. And this is for the 12 months of Halloween sale with Caitlin is Stitch from Mom. And right now it was started in November. So you're supposed to get the first rule done in November. And then this month we're supposed to get the second rule done. So the first one is wear a costume. And then the second one is eat candy. I have gotten the topper done. So I'm a little bit behind on the sale. I have faith that I will catch back up though. And I am loving this thread that I'm using as the border. It's called Trick or Treat by Weeks Dye Works. And I think that border is just going to look so cool. I'm really happy with that decision. And I started the first rule. I've got a little ghosty going on there. You know, I'll catch back up. All right. Next up, I worked a little bit on Eliza Bell Cox by Hands Across the Sea. I still love this giant parrot, and my husband still thinks it's creepy. You know? And I had this one. It's off the scroll rods right now, so I have to be kind of careful while I'm showing you. Well, it's on scroll rods, but it's off the end bars. So here it is. I think from the last time you saw it. Sorry, you're just gonna see my eyeballs poking out over here. I got this pansy done. And some more, like some of these leaves worked from the last time you saw it. And I do love this. Every time I pull it out, I love working on it. It's just going to take me like 30 years to finish. A forever project. Right now I don't have, I think part of my stitchy bug problem this week is that I'm, up to this point, for the last several months, I've had a piece, at least one piece that I'm like, I need to get this done for this reason. I'm trying to get it done for like Joe's house. I need to get it done for his anniversary. And Oh Say Can You See has just been languishing for so long. So I needed to focus on that. I don't really have anything right now that I need to focus on. So I think that I really just need to pick a piece that's going to be my focus right now, and that will help me with my stitchy bug, because if I have a piece that I know I'm trying to get a lot of progress done on, just helps me, you know, helps my motivation a little bit. The next piece I want to show you is a Mill Hill kit. It's called Winter Wonderland, and I think I put 250 stitches in it from the last time you would have seen it. I just filled in a bunch of this blue. I worked on this on an airplane for a little bit. Moving on. Next up is Mother's Tree. This is by Lavender and Lace. You customize it to put your own lineage in here. She gives you the alphabet and the letters, or sorry, alphabet and the numbers, so that you can customize it. And I'm just still working away on that tree in the top. This is the never-ending tree. Here. So that you can kind of see. Yeah. It's never-ending. And I'm doing this for my grandma, who is really into genealogy. And I'm gonna go... I've talked about this before, but I have up to my great times 12 grandma in like the 1600s. She knew all the way back to her. So I'm excited to get to the names someday. When I get the tree done, I'll be able to start putting names in, and I'm excited to get to that point. I know this is already long, but I thought maybe some of you would think this is interesting. I'm going to sidebar from cross stitch just really quickly. Yesterday I was getting my piano tuned, which I haven't gotten it tuned in years. It's moved across the country, and then moved once in South Carolina here, and it was severely out of tune, and I really needed to get it tuned. So yesterday I got that done, and while the guy was tuning it, he found this old receipt. And I'm bringing this up now because the grandma that I'm stitching Mother's Tree for, this piano that I have was hers. And so this receipt, if you see up here, all you who went to Midwest, I really am from Amana. If you can tell, my family is from, that's where I'm from. Because this receipt is dated 1958. And it took me a little while to figure out what it says, but it says Harold Swanson, which was my great grandpa. And I took a picture of it and sent it to my grandma because I was like, I could not figure out what this said right here. Couldn't figure it out. Something for $7. Something that was I think this says no tax sale. No tax service by Paul. You know, I don't know. So I texted her a picture of it, and it took her a little bit, but she figured out what it was, and it's for some clover seed. It's a specific brand of clover seed. And it just brought some sweet memories back for her about her dad and her mom. And, you know, she grew up, they farmed in the clover fields. She said she was a junior in high school when this receipt somehow made its way into that piano and has made it until now. I mean, that piano has been worked on and tuned and all that. I mean, who knows how many times. The manufacturer date for it is 1954, so it's 65 years old, and the receipt popped out this time. I just thought that was so cool. Anyways, I thought maybe you would think that's interesting, so back to cross stitch. Okay, the next WIP that I'm going to show you, I didn't put any stitches in this, but it's the Disney Dreams collection, Beauty and the Beast. It's this small one. And this is where I am on it. And just ignore how I decided to stitch it, because this is the first time that I was doing full coverage, and I decided I was going to stitch it a certain way, and it was silly to stitch it this way, and whatever. But this is how far I am. The reason I'm showing you this is because I'm going to abandon this WIP. I'm going to abandon it. It's for a reason. A really exciting reason. I'm not really one for abandoning things, guys. Like, it's pretty weird for me to say that, I think. But it's for a really exciting reason because look what I have, guys. I have the full kit of the big picture, which is so much better than the tiny picture. So I'm going to abandon it and start working on the big one. I'm so excited about this. So if you guys, follow this, these kits, and it's a full kit. It's got the fabric, the floss, it's everything. It's unopened. And these things go for ridiculous amounts of money on eBay. And I'm just not going to pay on eBay. It's just, I just didn't want to do that. But I have, I met a woman here in the Low Country. Her name is Anna, and she mentioned that she had these in her closet and she was never going to stitch them, and she was willing to sell them to me for sticker price. She could have put them on eBay and made all kinds of money on this, but she sold them to me for sticker price, and I so appreciate it. And I kind of like let it slip there, but I said them because she had another one that she was willing to sell me. The Lion King, y'all. So I have both Beauty and the Beast and the Lion King full kits. I'm over the moon about it. I'm so excited to stitch these and to get into them. I've been waiting to show you guys before I started that Beauty and the Beast one. I don't know. I have the chart and stuff for this small one, and I used a working copy, so the chart is in good condition. I didn't use the threads for this. I threw them out actually because they were not right. The colors didn't match up. There wasn't even really green in the threads that came with the kit. So I, converted to DMC and just kitted up with DMC. I'm not really that far into it, so it's not like I'm losing a bunch of time or anything. And I'm excited to get started fresh on a different full coverage because, like I said, I don't like how I decided I was going to stitch this. And I think that there's better ways to go about stitching full coverage, and I'm going to try those out instead. And I am so excited, guys. I'm so excited. And Anna, if you're watching this, thank you again. I am so excited to have these in my possession, and I will stitch them. It's not like I'm going to flip them. It'll take me forever and ever and ever to stitch them, but I definitely will. I'm not gonna flip them. Now, if anyone ever sees a Winnie the Pooh one, like Stephanie just finished it. What's her name? Miss OhSewCrafty, that's her Flosstube name. She finished her Winnie the Pooh one a few months ago, and I love that. If I could find a Winnie the Pooh one for a decent price, just a chart even, I don't need the full kit, then I would love that. I kind of like the Snow White one, it's okay. And I would love to get a Peter Pan one. But, I'm not going to pay out the wazoo for them. I'm happy to pay sticker price or even slightly above, but I'm not going to pay $150, $200 for them. I'm just not. Especially if it's just the kit. Okay, moving on. More WIPs. I have this, the Design Connection Garden in Blue. And I put some stitches into it. This thing is going to be huge. I don't think I realized when I started stitching it how big it's going to be. But, I know that the front says it's 14 inches by 14 inches, which is, big, but this is actually big. It's gonna take me a while to get it done, but I got some of these flowers done up here and starting to fill in the quilt blocks. So there's that. Next up, this sunset kit called French Flower Shop, and I love this design. I can't wait to get it done. It's gonna take me forever because there's so much confetti. There's so much confetti. I'll just leave it there. And the fabric that I chose to do this on, again, this is like early in cross stitching for me, so I didn't know what I was doing. But this is super thin linen. And I think that the linen, I don't know if you can really tell, but there's some like good texture in the linen. So I think it looks really cool and it'll look really good with this design. If you look like all around the edges here, these bricks are, it's just like sporadic half stitches. So it kind of fades out as it goes, and you can kind of see with the top corner that I have done how that works. It just kind of fades out with, you know, less and less stitches, but that means that I have to do a lot of carrying because I'm not going to tie off every single half stitch. It's not even a full cross stitch. So how do you even tie off a half stitch? I don't know. So I have to carry threads, but it kind of shows through a lot on this linen. When you fold it up or put something behind it, you can't tell as much. So I think it'll be okay in the end, but it just makes it kind of hard to work on because you have to think about trying to cover up those carried threads quite a bit. Next up is Delta Blue China. It's a Janlin kit. And I think this kit came with Ada and I switched over to even weave. And thank goodness I did, because the number of quarter stitches in this design is just insane. How anyone would do it on Ada, it just blows my mind. I don't know how anyone would do it on Ada. But here I am on that. So I'm getting the teapot done here, worked on. I like how it's turning out. I like this teapot. I think it's so pretty. And with all the quarter stitches and stuff, I mean, I haven't put any back stitching in and it's so defined. I think it's going to look great and it's going to be worth it with all those little tiny stitches, but oh my gosh, it's just so much. And then the last WIP that I have is this plaid basilicate vintage blue vase. I'm pretty sure I haven't touched this since the last time I showed you, but this was the only one that was going to be left out in my entire Flosstube video, so I was like, I might as well just show it. And I just have a little bit of the flower, a little bit of the rose in the very top done. That's all. Wow, that made everything turn yellow. Maybe if I... It's interesting how it's making my phone react here. But anyways, so there's that. And that's all my WIPs. All my WIPs, guys. Hey, so I was thinking just really briefly, when I was going through and getting all those ready, I was ironing them all. And I've had this conversation lately, and I'm curious to see what you guys say. Personally, I don't know if it's my quilting background or what, but pretty much anytime that I go to put something on a Q-snap, I pull it out of the project bag and iron it before I put it in the Q-snap. And then when I take it off the Q-snap, if I'm not going to work on it for a while, I iron it before I put it back in the project bag. And some of my fellow stitchers around this area think that that's insane. And pretty much I think they only iron their project when they get done. And that's the only time that they ever really iron it. So just out of curiosity, do you guys iron your project a lot? I feel like I probably do iron it just more than a lot of other people based on those conversations. I don't know. I just like it to look flat and crisp. If I'm storing it for a while, I don't want it stored with like wrinkles all over it. But apparently that's just a weird thing that I do. So that is all my WIPs. Now just to close up here, a couple months ago on my Flosstube anniversary, I gave away this dragonfly pillow by Tiny Modernist, and Amelia O won it. And I sent it off to her with all the anchor threads and stuff. And Amelia, if you're watching, I hope you got it. But I think I'm going to start mine on January 1st. I think it might be my new year, new start. So Amelia, if you're watching, let me know if that works for you, if you want to start it in January. I think it would be fun to stitch with you. So just let me know what you think in the comments below if you're watching. I would love to stitch it with you, and I'm thinking January 1st is a good time for me. So, and that's all I have for you guys tonight. very long video. I realize that. And thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole thing. It's just been way too long since I filmed and I worked on way too many things. So I need to make sure I get back to you with a little bit better frequency than this. So I hope you guys are all having a great holiday, end of the year season. I hope you all have some fun plans, whatever that means for you. And I'm looking forward to our plans. We're going to get some good family time back home. And hopefully we're going to get to see some friends that we haven't seen in a long time. We have one friend who has moved overseas and he's going to be back home at the same time that we are. So hopefully we get to see him. And yeah, I think that's really all I have for you. I know, shocking since it's been an hour. That's all. Don't worry. So I will see you next time, and thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.